Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim for the Real Sports Talk, and we have a very special guest on with us today, Jamal the Dirty Bird Anderson, former Falcons, all-pro running back. You can find him on Twitter at Jam the Dirty Bird. What's been up, man?
Man, just getting ready for the combine coming up here that's going to be taking place in the next couple days. Doing my same old stuff for CNN and now Headline News. I'm just launched watches on Shop ABC, the Imperious watches. First time I've done a venture like this, and we launched to very good reviews and success. So I'm happy about that, and in the process of developing a couple of other new TV shows on different networks. So, and I'm a dad, so I'm busy.
It's always good to be busy. Let's look at your career a little bit, and then we'll get into today's game. Overall, throughout your career, what was your favorite memory of your career?
There's no doubt my favorite memory would be when we went to the Super Bowl. You know, we won the NFC title game in Minnesota. So going to the Super Bowl and having a chance to play for an NFL championship was really a dream come true. Obviously, we unfortunately we weren't able to win, but it was a great honor to play in the game.
You play with a lot of great players over your career. Who was probably the best one that you ever played with?
Jesse Tuggle. Cornelius Bennett was a heck of a player as well, obviously for the University of Alabama, but I'd have to say Jesse Tuggle. Ray Buchanan was special, Chuck Smith was special, Bob Whitfield, they were special players, but yeah, Jesse Tuggle.
Talking to Jamal Anderson, former running back for the Atlanta Falcons, currently working as an analyst. If you could have done one more thing in your career, what would it have been?
Really, I had two goals: to win the Super Bowl title, first and foremost, and to try to get 10,000 yards rushing. So, wasn't able to do either because of one, I got hurt, and two, we lost the championship. But those were the things that I really wanted to do.
In your final season, where you essentially tore your ACL and didn't get to play a ton of the season, Michael Vick was the #1 pick in his first year. Did you know that he was going to be this good? Could you see it then? And what has changed since then that has allowed him to elevate his game from what he was in Atlanta to what he is in Philly now?
Well, I definitely knew he was a special athlete when you get that combination of a guy who can throw as well as he can, and at any given moment, he's one of the 3 or 4 fastest players on the football field, and unique skill sets, especially with Michael's arm strength and his athleticism. So I knew he was going to be a special player. The big thing, I think the biggest difference, or what's really helped him, is the continuity in the coaching staff in Philadelphia. With Andy Reid and his quarterback coach, and there's several coaches on that staff, on the offensive staff, who've been together for a number of years. I think that really has helped Michael out. And of course, just the natural maturation, Sometimes you gotta grow up, and sometimes you gotta go through things to realize what's most important,
That being said, what was Michael's work ethic in Atlanta? Was it what we've heard, that he was not necessarily a very hard worker?
He said it himself. I think there was no disputing what the man himself actually said. So who am I to disagree with what he said? So, I think that there was some frustration when you switched the staffs and doing the things that we were doing. He definitely has learned to put in the work necessary to make himself one of the better players in football.
And do you ultimately believe he can win a Super Bowl?
I do. I think that we've seen now that if you have the right group of guys, you go on the win at the right time. Look at the Giants. They were 7-7. Okay, they went into the playoffs at 9-7. It's really really about getting hot or staying hot, or being consistent for a long period of time. Your injury situation, all of those things are important. But there's no question in my mind that the type of talent he possesses. If you looked at that football team going into the season, the Eagles, I'm talking about, they looked like one of the teams that you certainly were going to have to deal with at the end of the season. It just did not start off very well,
Yeah, I mean, I know perfectly. Yeah, I know that perfectly as an Eagles fan, no question. But let's switch over to something else now. The concussion issue has really become a big thing since you've left the league. What is your opinion on the concussion issue, how the NFL has handled everything?
I don't have a big opinion on it right now. I think that we have to wait to see what transpires and the different and various lawsuits that have been filed, and to see any and all documentation that's out there. It's hard to formulate a conclusive thought or an opinion without everything being out there. And I think there's clearly something to this, and now the investigations are taking place to see what it is.
Alright, so this is the first half of the Jamal Anderson interview. Stick around for the second half. I might release it in a few parts, actually. There's one part where he talks about his former colleague Skip Bayless and what his opinion is, and he also gives his opinion on the Super Bowl and Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. So it's definitely something you are going to want to stay around to watch. You can hit me up on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST. Please subscribe to the channel. We've done a ton of great interviews with NFL stars like Jason Babin, Deshaun Goldson, Bryant McKinney. The list goes on. And there's only going to be more to come. So if you want great sports talk, subscribe here. I'll catch you guys later.